All right, President Biden says he directed his team to work with both the Israeli and Lebanese governments to bring the conflict between Israel and Hezbollah to a close. White House National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan joined CBS Mornings earlier today and discussed the U.S.'s role in ensuring the deal does not collapse. Listen.
We're going to have to monitor it and implement it day by day, and the United States and France, along with our other allies, are committed to help doing that. And of course, at the end of the day, as the deal states, Israel retains the right to self-defense if Hezbollah or any other terrorist group violates the deal. But we believe that we have learned from the past, and we have designed this deal to be long-standing and to stay in effect, to continue to sustain the peace, and also to ensure the security of the State of Israel.
All right, I want to bring in CBS News national security contributor Sam Vinograd to talk more about this. Sam, great to see you as always. So how would you assess this deal by Israel?
Well, Vlad, this is a major breakthrough, not just for the United States, but for Israel and Lebanon, such that their citizens can return to their homes. It is also critically important to note that, as National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan mentioned during his remarks, this is a day-by-day implementation, if not a minute-by-minute implementation. The United States government is deeply aware that they will have to pay close attention as to whether Hezbollah and Israel are keeping up their sides of the deal. In large part, that means actually maintaining a truce, so no ongoing fighting, no ongoing airstrikes, but also that both parties withdraw from the areas they've said they'll withdraw from over the next 60 days. So the U.S. administration is certainly going into this feeling quite good about the progress made, this historic milestone, but they're also incredibly clear-eyed about the risks of this deal falling apart based upon the long history of conflict between Israel and Hezbollah in Lebanon dating back decades.
So how do two sides broker a deal like this? I mean, what are the steps that are taken to reach a resolution, sort of behind the scenes that we're not always privy to?
Well, in a situation like this, there are mediators involved. And my friend and former colleague, Amos Hochstein, who's been very close with President Biden for some time, was instrumental in trying to mediate between Hezbollah and the Israelis. So behind the scenes, we had the United States with negotiations led by the Secretary of State, Amos Hochstein, and at times President Biden himself with various parties to the deal, Israel, of course, as well as the French, who had their own set of mediators directly involved on the ground with the two sides. So you have the mediating parties, in this case, the United States and France, and then the two sides, Hezbollah and Israel, who would have named representatives to be their key negotiators. We also have to remember here is it is unlikely that Hezbollah agreed to anything without running it by the regime in Iran. So there had to be conversations between Hezbollah and between the regime in Iran what terms Hezbollah would agree to. I also wouldn't rule out the United States sending back-channel messages or private messages to the regime in Iran to urge them to support the conclusion of a ceasefire agreement. So lots of discussions behind the scenes, in addition to, of course, conversations at all levels between staff, between cabinet officials, and ultimately between the president and his counterparts in the region and in France.
All right, Sam Vinograd for us. Sam, as always, great to talk to you, my friend. Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.